What's good, YouTube? Sandman here. So today, I thought I'd bring you guys a build video. I haven't really done any build videos for Assassin's Creed, but let me give you a little breakdown of why I'm doing this. So I've gotten to a point with my assassin build here that I really don't know what else I could do to make it stronger besides leveling up what do you call them, master levels or whatever. The actual gear itself is insanely well put together and all this, and I'm going to go through each piece. But I was getting on YouTube, and I want to explain because of the title of this video, and I was looking for assassin builds on YouTube to try and find, like, am I missing something? Is there anything else I could do to this to make it even better? Has somebody else put up a better build that I could look into? I can't find anything on YouTube that's even close to what I've done here. And so I thought, okay, I guess at this point we'll just share it with the community, because the numbers I'm seeing from the assassin builds on YouTube are, for the most part, about half of what I have here. Most of these guys are running around with 2 to 300 assassin damage and like 10 to 15 warrior damage with like 11,000 hunter damage, and then they have no health and armor on top of that. And it's like, okay, well, wait a minute. So I don't want to diss anybody. I'm not trying to call out any YouTubers or say that they're not good at what they're doing or whatever. Some of those were lower level builds. So this is a level 99 maxed out assassin build. And so yeah, I'm just, that's where we're coming from. Let's just get into the build. So I guess the first time I'll show you his abilities, right? So as you can see, I'm not perked into a bunch of this warrior crap. You just don't need this stuff. You don't need it. You're a pure assassin, you just don't need it. Same thing goes with my archery. The only things over here on your hunter, you definitely want Sixth Sense. This allows you, when you're sneaking around and you suddenly get spotted, to spin, get on your enemy, and then hit him with that really fast. And it gives you like 8 seconds to do that. It makes the entire build like insanely quick. Very viable for sneaking around and all that stuff. And then of course you want to raise your hunter damage, because there are situations like when you're facing the bull, I forget what, the minotaur and stuff like that, you're going to want arrows. And you'll also see like that's going to come in handy later. So as you can see, this is where I perked all this stuff at. I went all out into the assassin tree. I didn't pick anything that I don't use. Like, I'm not calling in lieutenants. You're an assassin, you're by yourself, I'm not trying to draw a bunch of attention. If I do, it's not a problem. I can take on 10, 15 enemies at a time, no issue whatsoever. But that's not really what this build is for. This build is for sneaking around, one-tapping regular enemies. If I get behind most of your mercenaries and cultists and stuff like that, I can one-shot critical hit them, no problem, with your critical, this right here. Or no, that's not it. Where's critical assassination? There it is. With that right there, you just hold it down. But yeah, I mean, there's no need to explain all these. This is the way I went with it, and I'll show you once. Well, there you go. This is what I'm really using. So that's your hero strike or whatever it is, right? And that thing, it doesn't work very well, because you can sit there and tap it and tap it and tap it, and you have your adrenaline bars, and it just doesn't perk. I don't know what the deal is with it. But when it does, it's massive fucking damage. It's crazy. Your vanish is just getting yourself out of trouble if you actually do get into trouble. But you'll see how I got this set up. It's actually kind of a vampire build. My damage could go much higher. I've had it as high as 500,000. But I had no healing. And I'm the type, like, I'm decent, but I'm not that great at getting out of the way of getting hit all the time. And so when I do get hit, I want, the next 2 or 3 strikes that I throw to heal me back to full health. There's reasons for that too. The higher critical hit damage and stuff like that. Slow time here, I think it's glitched. It doesn't really seem to work that well. I use it every now and then. Sometimes it seems like it works, but it doesn't, it's supposed to give me like 10 seconds of slowed time. It doesn't do that. I think it's around like 4 to 5 seconds. It's about the same as if you do a perfect dodge. That's what it really feels like. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Maybe people haven't really been using it, and so nobody's saying anything, but it's definitely not 10 seconds, that's for sure. This right here is imperative. You want that because that's all you're really going to be doing most of the time is sneak assassinations. and for the enemy to just disappear, and then you can move back into cover and go for the next one. It doesn't allow the enemies to group up when they find a body, because there is no body. So, and that's the rest of this is just, you know, bonus damage. You notice I only have one here though, and this is saving me. I know it's not much, but it saves me 2 perk points. You have to have one because you definitely want this. This is going to be a poison assassin. I know a lot of people try to go fire and all that, but if you're not basing into warrior damage, you're losing a lot of damage. So yeah, but you want all 3 ticks on that, 60% build up. That's huge, and you'll see why when I show you the stats on this build. I have over 200% build up, which means the minute I get a poison hit on them, they're poisoned and their health starts ticking down. And you can see it too. It's funny, once I get past their white shield and I get into their health level or whatever, that poison, like, it's just tick 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 and it's gone. So it doesn't work as well as fire does on shields, but when it hits their health, it's over. Like, game over. They're just dead. And then all this other stuff is just the basics. Of course, you're going to want to max out that. As quiet and as silent as possible. I can literally walk, like, right behind guys and they don't have a clue. Like, it's very easy to sneak up on people and stuff like that. Now here, so as you can see, I didn't put anything into this. And I know people are saying, oh, you just got to max out crit and all that. I didn't put anything on crit. I didn't put anything on crit because I've tested it and tested it and tested it, and I really don't think that anything above like 20% really does anything. Like, I hit crits constantly, and I think my regular crit chance is only like 25%. I don't think that their numbers factoring when it comes to crit chance is really actually having any effects. Same goes for damage. You're gonna pull shit tons of crit damage off the build. I'll show you. So I didn't spec into that either. So I have nothing on the hunter tree whatsoever. Like, there's just no point in it. Warrior, I actually put quite a bit more than you might think. So, number one, I wanted to boost my health and armor. A lot of this was just because I had extra perks left over after I scaled everything through. I automatically went for the 50% armor because on an assassin build, you're going to have armor issues. I now have about as much armor as most warrior builds do. Just by doing that right there. 13, no big deal. It only goes up to 60, so once you hit 50, 48 to 50, 45 to 50 even, there's not much of a use of wasting those extra perks. 10% health, just a little bonus. Should have went higher. You want your health, at level 99, you want your health around 200,000. I think I'm at like 188 or something like that, so I just went with it. It's fine. This is key. Damage dealt, restored his health. Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. You're using daggers. This build is going to use daggers. You're hitting constantly. Every one of those hits is going to heal me about the size of an adrenaline bar. That's awesome. That's freaking awesome. Like, it's so easy to get back to full health. So even if I do get in the giant brawls with a bunch of guys, I can stay alive. And that's the key thing, because you're not going to do massive damage to a giant group of enemies like you would with like the multi-bow shot builds or like the warrior builds where you're just swinging around a giant spear. I don't really like the big oversized weapons. I don't like the way they function. They're not fast enough. They leave you open to get hit way too often. And that's why I like the daggers. I like how fast they are and how quickly I can move around and do whatever I got to do. And as you can see, I ticked into health on overpowered abilities also, because a lot of times my health will be getting low. I'm sitting there slashing at them. I'll get hit a couple times. I'm low on health. Boom, I pop that overpowered ability because I've built my adrenaline up, and you'll see why when I go to assassin, how easily that is done. And boom, it shoots me back up. Because I'm getting 6% of the damage I do. So those overpowered abilities, I'll hit for almost 1 million after it gets done critting. Because you're doing like 5-6 hits. And so boom, I go right back to full health. Comes in very handy. I believe that's all I did on there. Yeah, see, that's it. And then assassin, of course, you want a little bit. That's what I'm like. Every time I level up, that's where I go to now. I just go straight to assassin damage, and I keep building that up. I think the max it goes to is 20%. So once you get around 10% or so, then you're just kind of wasting points. Unless you just happen to have a bunch of them. Like, I think I'm only like master level 7 or so. So like, this isn't like, oh, I did the glitch for 5,000 hours and now I can do all this. This is a very basic, got to 99, I'm like master level 7, I really haven't done that much with it past then, and this is the build I'm running since then. Damage with daggers. This is pretty important, and you'll see why when you see how much damage with daggers I actually have. And you can push that, I don't know what the max it goes to, probably 25% or so. Around 10 to 20% to 15 to 20% is right where you want it. This is huge. Adrenaline per hit, get that above 10%. Get that above 10%. Also, adrenaline on assassination. You can actually leave this as low as you want. I just put it at 20% because it's an easy 5 perks, okay, whatever. The thing is, the way this is set up, all you got to do is get 1% of one of your adrenaline bars on like an assassination kill. So say you do an assassination and it takes one of your adrenaline bars. Well, it also gives you a little percentage of that adrenaline bar, and if you watch it, if you just sit and cover for a second, that adrenaline bar will just refill itself. And so you really don't need that high. 20% just means I can move faster and keep going. And then health gain per adrenaline spent. So I'm getting an extra 5% of all that on top. So like I went a lot into survivability because my damage output is already so insanely high. Now I would recommend putting poison damage on here too. I just ran out of perks and I didn't want to reset. I didn't want to keep redoing everything. But poison damage is huge. My poison damage is actually a lot lower than I would want it to be. I've done warrior builds with over 200% fire damage, and it'll cut through enemies real quick. This is more of your poison damage itself is more of like, it's not your killer. That's not what's actually killing everything. It's just making everything about half as hard because you're ticking them down the entire time. Not to mention, with poison damage, they will stutter. So like I was fighting the Minotaur like a couple days ago, and I kept hitting him with poison arrows, and after his poison ticks out, which with 200% buildup, it ticks out very quick. So every like 10 to 15 seconds he was going to his knees, and that would allow me to run up and hit him with an overpowered and stuff like that. Like everything synergizes very well. So if you can build into poison damage on top of it, go for it. It's not going to do anything but help you. So that's the abilities. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, see, that's all I perked into. I didn't go all crazy all over the place. Very, very, like, synergetic, I guess you would say. I think that's about it with the stats and everything, or the talents, or whatever, skills. It's very basic. You're going all-out assassin. That's the whole point of this. The only thing you're doing on here, like, yeah, you want some warrior damage. There's no reason not to do that. 3 ticks for an extra 40%. Like, yeah, of course. But definitely the armor, and then your overpowered attacks. This right here, I know a lot of people like to use this charge stuff, but with daggers, I just don't find it that useful. It doesn't hit that hard, and you're fighting so fast with daggers that sitting there trying to build that up without having that 50% build up stuff, or the 50% faster charge rate or whatever, it just doesn't work very well. And so I just left it off. There's no point in it. But so yeah, that's that. Now I'm going to show you guys the build. So I tell you what, I'll show you the stats, and then I'll show you each piece and show you how I came to do this and how it all kind of flows together. So as you can see, we're really not sitting that high. I've seen this as high as like 350. But even the guys who had 350 were only sitting at like 320,000 assassin damage. And it's because they're not stacking it right. But, so here you go. This is huge. My damage with daggers, I'm getting 100% extra damage just from using my main primary weapon. And as you can see, I only have 2 daggers equipped. That's it. So, damage with daggers, all out. Now, critical hit chance, critical hit damage. This stacks. So, while I'm at full health, I'll actually get 550% critical hit damage. 450% at low health, but I'm never at low health because I'm always healing, so I'm always hitting with this higher crit damage. I would much rather have this critical hit chance be at full health than low health, but I hadn't quite figured that one out yet. Now, as you can see, I'm only at 100% poison damage. That's really not that great. I think base on an assassin build is around 80. So it's really not built up that high. I've seen, like I said, fire builds with 200 plus. But that right there, 210% buildup, that's what's going to cripple them very quickly. Health bonus, armor bonus, yeah, of course. Adrenaline per hit, and adrenaline assassination kills. I showed you guys that before. We get both of those from our actual master stuff. Other than that, as you can see, I don't have any special things because this is a purple build. There is no reason, unless you just really want to base a build around the 5th talent, there is no reason to use gold gear. Gold gear is just not as good as purple. It really isn't. Because purple, you can get exactly the stats you want. And we'll go over that now. So, this is my primary. And as you can see, one of the first things you do, weapon damage becomes poison damage. I have this on both my bow and my knives. Now, I'm giving up a little bit of damage because I could just be running this and pop it right at the beginning of every fight and all that, but then it runs out, you're in the middle of the fight, you're trying to pop it again, you gotta run away. It's a pain in the ass to even have to remember, not to mention who's popping that before they're going in for an assassination kill. It takes you out of cover to pop it. And so if you're like sneaking up on somebody and you want your poison damage too, you've got to come out of cover to pop that. It doesn't make sense to me. That's why I only have 1 tick in that, because more ticks just won't do anything. Like, they don't do anything for you. And so I'm running the higher build up on it and damage, but then I just run poison on both of these. And you can get this from there's a bow. I don't remember where I got the bow, to be honest. I don't remember where I got the bow. It was very early in my playthrough. I got a bow that gave me poison damage on basic arrows. Boom, you have that talent. The knife is one of the mercenaries. Damn, I wish I could remember his name. It's one of the mercenaries you have to kill. One of these guys that will actually drop you the knife. I wonder if he's still on here. Because it was, well, I guess it was a while back that I killed him, but it's not that guy. He wasn't even that high a tier either. I mean, it's not hard to look that up. There's these, the legendary daggers that will give you poison damage. You just get them, go kill that mercenary. He'll drop those daggers, and then boom, you have that talent. So, it's not that hard to get. There's plenty. I actually found a YouTube video that told me how to get it, so that's that. Damage with daggers. Huge. You want damage with daggers everywhere. 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 Like, I'm stacking my base damage because all of this assassin damage is going to perk on top of my actual base weapon damage. You also see I have warrior damage equivalent to a lot of those guys that are running warrior builds. If these were spears or staves, this would be up around 60 to 70,000. That's exactly where like your top tier warrior builds are. So I'm hitting with just basic attacks the same way a warrior build was, but my assassin damage, as you can see, is off the charts. So yeah, so that's what you're going through. All damage, damage with daggers, crit chance, which, like I said, is not that important. I know a lot of guys are saying that that's the most important thing. I really don't think it is. That's my personal opinion, but once you get above 20%, it seems like it's about the same no matter how high I get in it. I've had it as high as 50%, and it really just didn't seem any different. The 100 damage on this dagger is I probably would like to find another one that had like crit or all damage. I mean, all damage would be perfect if I could find another one of these, an exact same one like that, and then I put more poison damage on top of it. And then the bow, crit chance, all damage, and then basic arrows become poison. Now, I'm losing a little bit of damage because I'm running this, like I said, with the all poison. But like I said, it just makes the whole build so much easier to use. You really don't have to think that much. You don't have to plan anything. Like, I don't have to sit there and say, okay, I need to perk this, and then do this, and then... No, I just want to go in and assassinate the dude. Like, let's do it. Like, forget all that. So on the helmet, number one thing on the helmet, damage with daggers. Like I said, daggers, as high as you can get that shit. You want it at least like, I mean, 100. You want it as high as possible, just flat out. That's your base damage. Everything is going to scale off of that. So you want your base damage as high as possible. See, that's where I'm getting that 20% crit chance while low health. I wish that was full health, because especially when you're doing assassinations, you're always at full health. But that's where I'm at. I haven't found one that was better yet. On the gloves, build up, elemental build up. This is huge. People bypass this talent. It's really a very good talent. Like, you notice very quickly like how much faster enemies go down when you have like 100 to 200% build up on top of everything. So, but yeah, just everything is assassin damage. So just because I'm gonna skip it, I know. Number one, you see it's assassin damage. Assassin damage. Everything is set for assassin damage. I didn't go none of this. No hunter, no warrior. You start mixing those, and that's when these numbers start plummeting. And when you're at level 99, here's a little tip. At level 99, max level, the enemies, if you're not fully perked into, say, assassin, you can't just walk up behind somebody and assassinate them. They won't go down. It'll take most of their health, but they'll still be alive. Then they alert everybody, and you're fucked. The whole thing doesn't work. You need to have everything perked into one little way of doing it. So if you're going to go warrior, go all out warrior. If you're going to go hunter, go all out hunter, which is going to be my next build, is going to try to do a hunter build, because I keep getting in situations where I can't get close to enemies, and so warrior or assassin really doesn't come in that handy. But the hunter damage, like, because when I crit, even with my hunter, it crits with poison, which is assassin damage. And holy shit, like I'll be hitting regular at like 80,000, and all of a sudden I'll hit for like 800. It's like, what the fuck? So I'm gonna be doing a bow build next. But anyway, so number one on the helmet is damage with daggers. That's where I'm getting 90% of my damage with daggers. Is both daggers have it, and then my helmet has it. That's the only places you can get that. Gloves, like I said, anything you can get all damage on, go for it. That's huge. All damage is huge. And you notice I'm not perking a lot of this into crit damage, besides like my extra perk, like the rollable one. That is going to be crit damage on everything except for my boots, because for some reason I don't have any good boot perks I can actually put on there. I need to find some, but I would much rather have like crit damage or something like that on there. But yeah, okay, so on the gloves, elemental buildup. I'm not sure if you can get that on anything else. I don't think you can. So that's huge to get that on there. That's an extra 50%. It doesn't hurt. Like, it's not hurting whatsoever. So do that. And then, like I said, all damage. Your build doesn't have to be exactly like this to pull this off. And I'm gonna show you some actual gameplay here in a little bit to show you what I'm talking about. Like, this is, I can literally go through entire camps and just sweep the camp, and it's like nothing, because I'm barely ever spotted. And if I do get spotted, I can usually kill 4 or 5 enemies right there in a small area, no problem. And I'll show you how that all works. Like I said, all damage, poison damage on top of it, like as much poison damage as you can get. Those are the things you're focusing on: assassin damage, all damage, crit damage, and poison damage. That's what your main focuses are going to be. One of the best pair of pants I've found. 100% crit while low, 100% crit while full. I always have 100% crit damage on top of everything else. So, and then stacked with poison damage. 100% crit damage at full health. Like I said, if you're assassinating, you're almost always at full health. So why wouldn't you? Like, get that as high as possible. The 10 seconds intoxicated duration, that comes in handy when you're fighting bosses, when you're fighting minotaurs, stuff like that. Like the animals and stuff like that. You gotta fight around that you're not just gonna one-hit. I mean, I can easily, even just with my spear attack, my distance assassination attack, I forget what it's called, can take down like bears and stuff. Like, that's nothing. But like when you're fighting cyclopses and stuff like that, you want your poison to tick on them for a while. And like I said, the warrior damage, I don't have a better one. That's the only reason that's there, is I just don't have a better one. When I get one, that I would much rather have crit damage or I don't even know what can go on the boots. I just literally, my ability to put anything on boots. And I don't understand it either, because when I go here, these are supposed to all be allowed to be put on there. And so I should have an extra 10% assassin damage on there. But when I go to actually put it on there, it won't let me. It doesn't even show up. So I don't know what the deal. Well, I guess here's locked ones. But I don't trust this. So crit damage at full health, those are kind of, I don't use Shadow of the Ninx. I know there's a build based around that. I just, it's not my thing. See, that might be alright. 10% intoxicated damage and weakening effect just to take the enemies down that fast. But for what I have right now, what actually will let me put on this, warrior damage is just the best way to go. Because like I said, you are going to do some warrior stuff, like your overpowered attack, which I'm not really doing it for the damage from the overpowered attack itself. But here's the thing, I auto crit on that. I crit on that every time I do it. I don't think I've ever done it and not seen it crit. And when I crit, that's when it's over. Like, because I do insane damage on crits. Mixed with poison, you know, it all just, like I said, it's very centric. It all works together. And that's about it. I mean, I think I showed every piece. And I showed you the talents. Like I said, that's just, anytime you get all damage, go for it. Crit chance, not as important as crit damage. Just get yourself over about 20%. I mean, look, if you can go to 30 or 40% and you think that's better, hey, go for it. But for me, I just didn't really see it as being that big a deal. And that's about it. And now I guess I'll show you guys some gameplay. So let's go knock out an area. I don't even know where I am. This video was kind of a decision to do on a whim a little bit, because like I said, I was looking online trying to find assassin build where, that one's decently good. It's got a mission merit though. That ain't got to invite. That'll work. We'll go do this fort real quick. Oh, I've already started it apparently. Yeah, I don't want to do one I've already started. I want to show you guys it'll take down a captain in one hit. So, let's see here. I want to find one close because I don't want to travel all over the place. What's this one? That doesn't even have a captain. We don't want to go fight a boar right now. That's not a great idea. What's this one? Shipyard. You know, we'll just get, it's a little bitty one. We'll just go knock it out. It's got a captain. I'll show you. It's pretty quick to take stuff down. Ah, these load times. Come on. I mean, I guess it is a huge world it's loading, but still. Alright, where's that thing there? Now, I do ask that people keep in mind, this is an assassin build. It's not meant for like getting in direct combat. Although, like I said, the way it's set up, you very easily can, with very little worry. So I'd probably take them out right there. Oh, is this a thingy right here? Ah, see, sometimes that happens, though. See, it threw it, but it didn't throw it. And now I don't have any...
Keep your distance! Better stay hidden.
But, see, that wasn't a critical assassination or nothing. You see, I got 3 of my bars back. And then the 4th one clicks, because I got a percentage of the 4th one. So just with one assassination, I went from none to 4. So adrenaline's no issue here. What is going on with that? It's not working. There we go. And as you can see, that was a fucking captain. And it wasn't even a critical assassination. This is one of those big bully guys you usually can't one-hit assassinate. No problem. No problem. And here's the thing, if you notice, every one of those guys was level 99. So, and anyone who's gotten a 99 knows that, like, the scaling is off the hook. The scaling at level 99 is off the hook. Because you gotta turn your actual game... What am I missing here? Ooh, treasures. What treasures am I missing? You have to turn your game scaling up. You have to turn it up to hard. Otherwise, you'll be facing, like, level 95 characters and stuff. And that you don't want to do because you're just wasting time. You're not going to get any good gear from that. How do I get in here? Where the fuck is this thing? Where did I... Oh, it's sitting right there. Duh. So that was a pretty easy one, but we'll go knock out this camp over here. And you notice, like, I love the fact that I don't have to worry about popping poison or anything like that. You can literally just go at it. And especially in the middle of fights, it allows me to take down multiple enemies really quickly. And not have to worry about, oh, have I switched this or that or any of this stuff. So, what do we got here? Couple of them. Let's see, should be 2 treasures and a cap. Where's the other treasure? There's one there. Where's the second one? There it is. We've got a bunch of bad guys in here, so I might actually end up in a big fight in this one. I might do that on purpose, actually. I'll take out a couple with assassinations, and then I'll perk a big fight. That way I can show you guys this will work just as well in an actual big fight, too. Alright, let's see there. Hit him from the front, huh? Try to get 2 of them right here. That's a captain I tried to hit with just a basic. You see, he's already poisoned. Ah, shit. Like I said, once I hit that, it's over. The fight's already over. Because that shit just tears them apart. Oh, swing at me. Ah, shit. I couldn't see anything because of that damn thing. Oh, this is
No! Put it down! Put it down! What should I do?
I me get out of this. I can't see anything in here. Let me get where I can actually see. There we go. And you can see they can keep hitting me, but I just keep going back to full health. You don't have to have a lot of skill to use this. It just, everything flows so well together.
For the gods!
You can see that poison start ticking down and their health is just gone. And it really is that easy. Like, they don't stand a chance. Oh, it didn't let me chain it to his dog. That's weird. There's that warrior. Like, just one hit was over 300,000. Very easily take down pretty much anything in the game. I mean, when you face bosses and stuff, that's all on your ability to know when to dodge and shit like that. But where was the other one? Knock out this area. But as you can see, no problems. I'm playing really stupid, letting myself get caught and out in the open, kind of forcing stuff, and no problems. And for a skilled player, like somebody who was really good at this would be pretty easy stuff. That's that 3 perks into they can't see me. I can pretty much just run right by them. There you go, easy peasy. And of course, you know, we've seen the warrior builds where they just one-tap everything and all that kind of stuff, but this is Assassin's Creed. I want to play as an assassin. So that's it. That's the build, guys. That's it in action. It's very easy to use. It doesn't, you know, you don't have to really plan anything or anything like that, and the damage is just off the hook. And that's how you do it. I don't want to drag this video out. I just wanted, like I said, I was looking online. I couldn't find a video where anybody had a build that was even close to this. So I thought I would post one. And we'll see. Maybe, you know, if you got any suggestions, anybody knows something I don't about, hey, do this and your damage would go even higher. Hey, put a comment in the comment section. Let me know. I'm all about it. But really, like I said, I spent about 20 minutes on YouTube trying to find a build that was better than this. And there's just not one. Like, I just can't find one anywhere. I know most people have gone all out warrior builds, but like I said, this is Assassin's Creed. I want to be an assassin. Like, that's the whole point of the game. But because of the way the game is set up, you have to be able to still fight, you know, basic, you know, groups at a time. And this gives you the ability to do that. And you notice I didn't even use my Vanish or my Hero Strike. I didn't even think about it, honestly. And that's kind of the thing. This build is so easy to use that you really just don't even think about that stuff. You just get poison on them and then hit them a few times and they're dead. And if it's a bigger enemy, just use your overpowered strike and it's over. Like, overpowered, just, even though that's a warrior ability, it's just so strong. It really is. Not a chance. See, that first hit didn't crit, but the second one did. And that's why you don't see any damage numbers past that, is because that's it. Once I crit, it's over. We got another one of these guys coming. Holla! Oh, I thought I had him on the first hit. There we go. Holla! And these are level 99s. Like, this is not like facing some baby enemies or anything like that. Like, these are level 99 enemies that I'm like easily just 2-tapping, 3-tapping. Hit them with that, hit them with overpowered and it's over. So, there you go, guys. There's your proof. The build works really well. You don't have to think about anything. You don't have to perk anything. You really don't even have to use any of your talents except for, you know, the spear thing. I use that constantly just because it's so good. But that's it. That is the assassin build. I hope it helps somebody. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Sandman out.